everyone, and welcome. Welcome. I am Kyra Schaefer. I'm CEO of As You Wish Publishing, and I have gotten the honor to publish the book Startup to Stand Out. And along with that, I get to interview some of the amazing authors from that book. Now, this author that we get to interview today is Karen Gabler. She has been with us from basically the beginning of this publishing company. And she didn't just publish with us, she also brought her daughter along. And so we've had this beautiful legacy of voices that have come through and shine through with both her and Sarah. And so I just want to say how honored I am to get to speak with her today. So Karen Gabler is an intuitive mentor, psychic medium, animal communicator, healer, and Reiki master. She also is a best-selling author, teacher, and inspirational speaker, as well as an award-winning attorney. Karen is passionate about encouraging others to find their highest purpose and live their best lives. She facilitates intuitive connections with her clients, guides, and loved ones in spirit, and mentors her clients through numerous personal and business issues, combining her practical, legal, and business expertise and experience with her innate intuitive ability to receive guidance from higher sources. Karen is a recurring guest on spiritual podcasts, conducting readings and answering spiritual questions. She also presents workshops and seminars on a variety of business, spiritual, and personal development topics. Karen has pursued wide ranging education in interpersonal development and the spiritual sciences and is at WCIT in the Martha Beck Wayfinder Life Coaching Program. You can learn more about Karen's work at karengabler.com. Welcome, Karen.
Hi, Kyra. So good to be here.
I have loved you from the beginning.
Oh, likewise. I have loved you as well. It's been such an amazing experience working with you and with our team of beautiful authors. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I never would have thought, what is it, 13, 12, 13 books now?
At least,
I
at
think so.
least, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. At
And
this point, I compilation of chapters.
I know, I think we could take all of your chapters and make one book.
Absolutely.
If you ever just like got cute, like, well, oh, what should I write about? Like, your book's already written.
Thoughts from Karen.
It's through the decade.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So, for this book, Startup to Stand Out, what inspired you to share your story?
Oh, well, gosh, beyond the obvious of working with you and As You Wish Publishing again, I really feel like there's a lot of gatekeeping when it comes to starting a business, and women in particular. But there's this feeling in society of if I have an idea, if I have a thought, if I have knowledge or wisdom, I'm going to hold it close to the vest because somebody will compete with me. Somebody might steal my ideas.
Mhm.
I've got to hold everything tight. And I just love the idea of reaching out to proactively help people, to share our wisdom, to give each other advice, to give each other guidance and mentorship. I just think it's so important to really help each other. When we lift each other up, we all succeed. There's room for all of us. And so the fact that you were putting together this book of advice, stories, pitfalls, thoughts from authors who have gone through those struggles and really tried to build things for themselves and for the world, I was just really excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, and we were excited to have you too. I think I was like hunting you down. I was like, be in this book. People
It's
need
a
to know
really
what
good,
you know.
it's a good concept. It really is. And like I said, I love the idea of proactively sharing, encouraging people to share and learn from each other.
Yeah. And what I love about your chapter too is that you help people to really start to recognize that their voice matters. We've got the gurus, we got the people, we got the thing, but ultimately, at the end of the day, when do we start listening to ourselves?
Absolutely. It took me a long time to figure that out. And so if I can help somebody shortcut that process, I'm there for it.
Yeah, and it is a very good shortcut because oftentimes we stop listening to ourselves when we were probably an expert in some other area and we're starting something new, and so we're like learning and growing and developing, but there comes a time where we have to say, "Oh, no. No, I know you've got that level of success, and I would love to have that same level of success, but your way is not necessarily my way." And
Right.
I love how you give people permission in your chapter to take a look at themselves.
Well, and permission from ourselves as well. Sometimes we do it to ourselves or we say, this is what I know how to do. This is my lane. I'm going to just do this. And we don't allow ourselves to expand because we're following rules that society has laid out, that others have laid out, or that we've laid out for ourselves.
Yeah. And coming from the legal world, I'm sure you are a very strict rule follower yourself.
I am a rules follower, direct deposit paycheck kind of girl. I had to really open up to move beyond that, to move beyond that structure of, you go through school and you get the internship and you start in the law firm and then you make partner and then all of it just, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a lot of comfort in that. There's a lot of security in that. And there's a lot of stagnation in that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. And now you're on a very different, trajectory
Yeah.
that is, I think, very impressive. It is an impressive turn. Yeah.
Thank
And since we're just chatting here, you tell people a little bit about that turn so I can, people will be like, "Oh, that's what she's talking about."
Yes, well, working now, and I have been for about 10 or 11 years now, but working as a medium, an intuitive coach, animal communicator, all of the spiritual and healing arts. I would have thought it was a complete detour from my legal practice, and in some ways it was. But I found as I opened up to it over time that I really have been using these abilities, these skills, this way of looking at the world throughout my life. I had, even in my legal practice, there was a time when my assistants, my staff people gave me a crown that said settlement queen on it because they said I could resolve any dispute.
Wow.
Look back at that and think, okay, that was probably 20 years ago. That was a good hint that I was working differently even in the legal world. I was bringing people together. I was creating healing. I was resolving problems rather than just fighting. And for a long time, I really fought with, my legal world is one side, my spiritual world is another side. It wasn't until I brought them together that my spiritual world really started to expand.
Mhm. Well, that leads me into the next question. Where was it that you had that pivotal moment on your journey that shaped your success?
Oh gosh. Well, it's different for my legal career than it is for my spiritual career. In my legal career, I think where I first had a moment where I thought I should do this differently is when I talked in the book about how I was giving presentations, trying to follow a mentor and do it the way he was doing it. I had a client come up to me after a program and said, I really love the way you talk to us. I love that you let us ask questions. That other guy is just really superior and he just acts like he knows it all. And it's always embarrassing to ask him something. And I just love that you are open. And I just realized, okay, I'm trying to fit myself in a box that isn't going to resonate with everyone. And just because he's been successful and he has a group of clients that resonate with his style, I don't really want to work with those clients. I want to work with my clients that resonate with my style. And if I embrace my style, I'm going to be reaching the people who have those heartwarming responses of, you make me feel comfortable, you make me feel happy. And that's what I have focused on, both in my law career as well as in my spiritual career. What kind of healing am I giving to you? What kind of comfort am I giving to you? How am I lifting you?
Hmm. I mean, if you could say, you know what, this this litigation process is going to be so fun, easy, chill.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to help people. Yeah, sure.
I mean, but that's amazing because, if somebody walks away from that kind of situation feeling more at ease than coming into it because of your influence and your energy and your impact, which,
Yes.
I mean, that's why I hunt you down for our books
Oh,
because you always make me feel at ease and
oh,
happy and balanced and
thank-
calm.
that means a lot to me. I really appreciate that. That is absolutely my purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. And you trust us with your daughter's words too. So from
Yes.
how old was she when she was in one of our books?
She might have been 10 or 11
Yeah.
when she
Yeah.
did the first one.
Yeah. That was so cool. It was so
Yes.
cool. Yes.
Yeah, here, just letting her understand that her voice is valuable from that far back. It's changed. I mean, now she's 18, she's in college. It changes the way she moves in the world. She tries to give others a voice because she was able to learn really young that having a voice matters and that your voice can and should be heard. And honestly, we really have you to thank for a good part of that because you gave her a voice. There's not a lot of publishers that would say, sure, I want an article from someone in middle school. And
I'm like,
and
yeah, bring it. Give me
yeah,
more
the
middle
fact
schoolers.
that it's just to honor her voice in that way is just a part of that path. It's one of the things I love about you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and she won the Rising Star Award with As You Wish Publishing back in the day, and I mean, and she really has been a rising star ever since. And Todd, he still quotes her.
Oh,
He quotes her chapters from time to
oh,
time. The last book I think you guys were in together, he was like, "Well, I just learned something amazing from Sarah." So,
oh, I love that. I can't wait to tell her that. She'll love that.
yes, please tell her.
That's great.
Yeah. So, what's one piece of advice you'd give to women either starting out or wanting to grow their business?
Oh gosh, there's so many pieces of advice I would give, but one that I think is really critical that isn't talked about enough is thinking about what you want to offer rather than what people will buy. I think when we focus on what's something that will make money, what's something that will be successful, what's something that others will give me money to own, whether that's services, products, whatever it is. If we focus on what people will buy, we lose some authenticity in what we're doing. All we're doing is trying to collect money. If we are focused on what do we want to offer, what is the pain point we want to address, what is the healing we want to provide, what is something that we want to give others to make their lives easier or to make them feel heard or seen, etc. So I think if we focus on what do I want to offer, there's an authenticity, there's a realism, there's a heartfelt offering in that that takes away the I'm trying to sell you, I'm trying to get you to part with your money, I'm trying to get you to do something for me. It's just here I am in the world offering what I have to give. I hope it resonates with you. And that's when you're going to reach the people that are meant to find you. And that's when they're going to feel like, I want to work with this person. I think it's so important. And we don't always think of it from that perspective.
No, I very rarely. We think in terms of what will the world receive,
Yeah,
and it's like, well, yeah, but what am I giving? What am I giving? That's like the I think that is like the fundamental shift in perception, because if I'm selling widgets and I hate those widgets, but they make me money, it's gonna take a little piece of my soul every time I make one of those widgets.
absolutely. Absolutely. And it really does change the interaction that you have with your potential clients or customers because it really is my goal is to get your money instead of my goal is to provide you with something that I think will help you, that will improve your life.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter what that is. I mean, I self-publishing. Karen, works with people in a coaching capacity in a variety of ways. And so it's doesn't matter what it is, but if it's in your heart to do, which we have seen, in so many ways with all the, including all the other authors that are in this book, all of them speak to that, but they haven't actually addressed that piece, is that they're doing something that they love, and that they're helping people. And I think that that's like a really continuous thread throughout the entire book, which is
Mhm.
I do something that helps. And that's
Yes.
powerful.
I think it's powerful too. I think it's the most important fundamental starting point of all business endeavors.
Yeah. So, how do you define success, and has that definition changed over time?
Oh yeah, a little bit.
Girl, I hear you.
Ooh, um, let's see. Well, success, in the past, success was, am I building my book of business? Did I win the case? Did I resolve the issue? Did I bring in more clients? All of the normal societal indicia of success. Success for me now is, have I left the world better than I found it today?
Hmm.
Have
Mhm.
I offered something? Have I helped somebody? And it doesn't have to be something dramatic. I think, you tend to think of success or your purpose as being, I have to leave my mark. I have to achieve some standardized level, some measurement that I have to meet. And it can be as simple as, I complimented this person when I got my morning coffee, and then they in turn were pleasant to the next person they spoke to, and that person in turn uplifted somebody else. It's, there's that quote, the proverbial quote about a butterfly's wings when flapped can change the ocean currents on the other side of the world.
Right. Yeah.
I think if we operate that way, that to me is the definition of success. It's, what ripples have I put out into the world? What am I creating? What am I doing to help other people shine? Do I end the day feeling like I left some of my light in the world? I lit up somebody else. I helped somebody. I created peace for someone, healing for someone, all the way, like I said, from that compliment to a random stranger up to what I did with my business and my clients all day, including what I did for myself, what I did for my family, what ripples of love. It sounds cliche, but it's true. What have I put out into the world that left it better than it was this morning?
I think that is a beautiful, and it's a beautiful quote too. I remember the first time that I heard that, what man is a man who doesn't leave the world better than he found it. And I remember seeing that the first time I heard that quote was from Kingdom of Heaven, which is a movie from back, I don't know, 2 decades ago or something. And it just always struck me,
Yeah.
and this is why we resonate so much. This is why we've been friends for so long. And that that if we don't have that, what good are we? I mean, like,
Yes.
that if that's in everyone's heart, if it's truly like a seed in everyone's heart, whether they recognize it or not, if it's truly just already there, it's there at birth, it's innate. um if every single person like really pulled that in and brought that close to their heart and made that an action item on their daily list,
Yeah.
what do you think this world would be like?
Oh, can you imagine? I mean, yes, it would be a much more peaceful and loving place for sure.
Yeah, it really would. Yeah, thank you for pulling that in. That's powerful.
Yeah.
So what's next for you personally? What's next for your business? Where are you headed?
Well, I retired from my law practice last June. So I am, yay. So I am
Yay.
now, and just, for my law clients who see this as well, I've loved helping them. It was an amazing experience. but I am on a different path. I'm focusing on my spiritual business. I had been doing my mediumship and soul readings and intuitive coaching part-time for the last decade, but now I'm working on that as my full-time endeavor. But really focusing on building it mindfully. There's a lot about the traditional business building techniques that I don't love. The mandatory social media marketing and the traditional advertising. And I haven't really pursued any of that yet. Right now, I'm just trying to really be mindful about what do I want this to look like? How do I want my work life to intersect with my personal life? What clients do I want to bring to the table? Who am I trying to reach? How do I keep my energy up and my vibration higher so that I can do my best work? And so building it differently, building it intuitively, what feels right to me, what resonates with me from day to day, without putting that pressure on myself of, I've got to reach this milestone, I've got to hit the 5-year plan, all the things we traditionally do.
Yeah, that it's in the spiritual world, it doesn't exist. Like
Right.
it's just no, no, because because believe me, when we hold on to something too tightly and we try to manage it and navigate it in such a way and it makes it really strict and confined, creativity has a hard time getting in through those tight cracks, so but it does, it just takes a lot longer. So if we open up and go, well, what could happen next, or what possibility will come to me, could come to me, and then doing all those practical things, we got to
Yes.
pay the bills, we got to make the donuts, all that kind of stuff. But we can do it in a really happy, inspired, effortless way when we're not confined to the way we think it should be done, especially if and listen, I mean, like I'm off Facebook. I mean, I'm off Facebook as much as I want to be. I'm happy
Mm,
with that. I'm
yeah.
dedicated to that. It feels great. I don't think about it, you know. And I still have people, they say, "Oh, you got to do this and the da 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 da, and you got to blah blah blah." And I'm like, "No, no, I don't have to do anything." Um,
Right. Yes.
yeah, I
So,
mean, I love, just what I've loved as a result of doing that is just doing Zoom calls or doing connecting stuff, or getting people on text message, and being able to reach out in new ways and saying, that was so, it was like, I often say, shouting into the void, because the only thing that came back was my own voice hitting me in the face.
yeah,
And
true.
nobody was there, and I'm like, well, why am I continuing to shout at the, that's my experience with it, it's not everybody's experience with it. So
Right.
giving ourselves the permission that if we see something not working, to pivot, to change our mind.
Absolutely. And it's really, for me, the mindfulness piece of it is it's not just a lofty ideal of I'll let it build slowly and I don't have to worry about money. I mean, that just it makes it sound sometimes like what about the people who actually need to just get something done, pay the bills, like you were saying? The mindfulness piece comes in with understanding the distinction. You may be doing a job that you don't love to pay the bills while you're building the business that you do love and putting the pieces in place.
That's right.
You may take in some clients that aren't your favorite clients because it pays the bills while you are still putting out what you want in the world to attract the people you'd rather work with. So the idea is, again, to do it mindfully, to be aware of I don't love this, and that's okay. It's serving a purpose. I am building this over here, or this is not my favorite client. I don't love this kind of project. What can I learn from that to help me bring in more of what I do want in the future? So it's being aware of those issues, not judging yourself, not shaming yourself, but also not just sleepwalking through it, just being aware of where you want to go and taking those baby steps towards it while you're doing what you need to do to survive in the earth world,
Yeah.
to live life.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing, and honing your message is also key there. Like, I remember when I opened our hypnotherapy practice in Phoenix years ago, um, I was like, everyone, come to me.
Yes.
I have the answer. You know, it's hypnosis. I'll get rid of your fear of everything, you know? And it was like, oh God, why are you people here? You know, like, well,
Yes.
you said everyone. And I'm like, oh no, I don't mean that.
No, I didn't
I
really
have
mean
a great
everyone.
person you can go to, but and then when I honed it down to just working with people with anxiety, because that's what I struggled with and that's what I used hypnosis for, then it like got really streamlined and really clear. And so then I just started visualizing then my ideal client was basically me, you know,
Yeah.
uh basically me, who wanted a shift in their experience to help them feel better and more at ease on a day-to-day basis. And then it just grew from there. So, and
Yeah.
it got so big I couldn't manage it. So I had to close
Yes.
my doors eventually. But it does work. Like that does work, getting really clear, about who you want to work with. And you might and a few people along the way that you're like, no.
Right. Right. And being willing to pivot is so important. It's not, you can't just sit down and write your business plan and decide this is who I'm going to work with and I'm just going to wait for them to call me. You do take steps and you do learn those things along the way. So giving yourself grace, being forgiving of the detours that you decided didn't work for you, it's all just information. And you have done a number of pivots, as you obviously know, through the years. And I really think it's brilliant. I think that's another piece of advice that's so clear. If you're not feeling good about what you're doing, and maybe it felt great last year, but it's no longer hitting the mark for you, don't be afraid to pivot. Take a look at, what did I enjoy the most about that? And what would I like to do with that piece of it going forward? And just being willing to say, it's not working or it's not how I wanted it. I'm going to shut it down. I'm going to do something new. I'm going to adjust it. I'm going to take a 3-month break without that panic of, I got to stay on track. I think that the pivot is so helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what do you have any kind of offer or anything going on you'd like to share with our friends listening, or tell them about your website or anything you want to share with us?
Sure, absolutely. I talk a bit in my story about how I like to do my spiritual work and how it might be a little bit different from what I was taught or what might be the norm. I do soul readings for people, and I love working with them to bring in the guidance that's there for them, for their own soul, from their guides, letting them know where they're on track, how they can know when they're on track, how to get back on track. I do mediumship readings where I connect people with their loved ones. My sweet spot is the messaging, the things that your soul wants to tell you, the things that your loved one wants to tell you, the conversation you didn't have. A lot of evidential mediumship is, let's just prove that they were once here. There's a sapphire necklace in the third drawer down on the brown night table. Okay, terrific. That's brilliant. Wonderful. But have you spent time with your loved one? Have you tapped into your soul? Have you communicated? And so for me, the messages and the communication are really where I thrive and where I love to bring people together, either with themselves or with loved ones on the other side. So I do a lot of that. I also do intuitive coaching for a more one-on-one ongoing effort when people are trying to move things forward, trying to overcome stories they've told in the past. And so that just gives us time to unfold it a little more. And then, of course, the animal communication, which is just a blast. I do it by Zoom as well. It works just as well as in person. I'm doing animal communication right now as a charitable endeavor. So I ask people to donate to an animal rescue rather than paying me, and then
Oh, I
connect
love
with their
that.
animal. Yeah, it makes me feel really good that I feel like I'm helping this one person understand what their animal wants to say to them, and also helping other animals because I'm encouraging those donations. And that's been really fun. And I'm loving talking to the animals. The things they say just crack me up. They see the world so differently.
And I'm sure it's nice for them to be heard.
It is wonderful for them to be heard. And they have some of the things you would expect. What kind of treats do I want and how do I want to be treated? But they also have really funny things. I talked in one of the other books that we did with As You Wish Publishing about talking to the animals, and one horse having been in a rainstorm for a week and then saying to me, all the water was falling from the sky. And it's just funny the way they put things and the way that they see things happening. So
Yeah.
that's been really entertaining. But, communicating with the animals, communicating on a soul level with loved ones, I just thoroughly enjoy it. I get excited about doing it. I love making those connections and having those conversations. I think it probably ties in to me representing people as an attorney throughout my career, where I'm kind of representing people in the spirit world to say, what's the story you want to tell? What's the thing you left unsaid? And it just makes me really happy.
I love this so much, Karen. It's so great. I really feel like everybody would be blessed to have some time with you and to connect with you and to learn, about their loved ones and their pets and their, all the things that they need to, connect the dots on, here in this physical world, because there is such wisdom on the other side that's waiting to come
Yes.
through. So yeah, so thank you for being that catalyst, that medium and mediator for the other side. And is there any final things you'd like to say to our friends? And it's KarenGabler.com is where you can reach her, and check out her services. But is there anything you'd like to leave our friends with?
Just really to believe in yourself. Read through these stories. I'm sure you'll gather a lot of wisdom from the Stand Up to Stand Out book. I love what my fellow authors are doing as well. And I just think it gives you a good foundation to just really believe that you have something to offer first and that you know best how to offer it. And when you are feeling lost, I don't know what to do, I don't know which way to turn, gather information from external sources, but sit with it and feel what resonates for you. Feel what guidance is there for you. Getting quieter instead of busier is more likely to set you on the right path. So research and gather the information, but filter it through your own senses and see what feels good. Where do you light up and where do you shut down? And that will tell you where to move forward.
Beautiful. Absolutely wonderful spending this time with you, Karen. I adore you. And I love having you in all of our books. And
Thank
you're
you.
just absolutely amazing. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Kyra.